the cinematography in this is just it makes every show that America produces look like ass.
Laughable. It's
It
a complete
there
laughable.
we'll get into specific favorite moments, but there is a fight scene in episode 7 of the second season that is one of the best choreographed filmed scenes I've ever seen ever
Bro, it's
put
like
on
it's like
television.
I think it's like top 3 of all time for me in any medium.
Pizza time. Pizza time. Pizza time. You're late.
Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Our new intro is still being worked on, apparently. I guess we'll get there eventually. But let's just get straight into it. Ed's got stuff to do. He's off in San Francisco at his home. He's not his nice little backdrop. He's back at his home office in the Bay.
Yeah, things to do,
anyway,
people.
welcome to Pizza Time, third episode of 2023. We are talking today about DC. Surprise, surprise. There's still so much stuff coming out.
Again, dude.
Yeah, it's getting very, very tired. But that's our only news yet again that we're gonna dive into. There's other stuff that came out. We're also gonna talk very briefly about Velma because it's just a hot button issue, and it's just really, really it needs to be talked about.
It's a hot piece of shit, is what it is.
Yeah, and then we're also going to give our Last of Us first reactions to the very first episode of The Last of Us. We'll get into it. And finally, we're going to talk about Alice in Borderland, the fantastic Netflix series. We're going to give our review, our spoiler talk, and everything we loved and didn't love. And we're going to talk about why Alice in Borderland is better than Squid Games. And it's not even close.
It really isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah, it's amazing. That show is absolutely fantastic.
And anyway, I haven't heard your take yet on the final episode, so I'm like really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, no, not yet, but we'll get to it.
Yeah,
we're starting off with DC. Yet again, DC. Another week, another DC news drop. So there's two things this week that kind of caught my attention, really, Ed, and to get your take on it. Jason Momoa basically sent out a social post that they had a good meeting and he's confident that he'll continue on. So that means Momoa is sticking around. I don't know if he's sticking around as the same character as Aquaman. I don't know. And you couple that with James Gunn has also announced this week via another social post.
Sorry.
Gotta pick up your phone.
That was my phone. Sorry.
Oh, James Gunn has also announced via another social post that he will most likely be bringing over Chris Pratt and the rest of the Guardians cast.
What?
To the DC. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So he said, don't be surprised if they join me. So again, it's just another week of more and more news. So let's start with Momoa's news.
Oh, weird.
What's your reaction to that he's sticking around, where do you land on that?
Well, first of all, my first reaction to that is the specifics of what he said. He said he thinks he might be sticking around. Did I get that right? Like something along those lines?
So yeah.
Where is that confusion coming from? Is he like not sure if he wants to? Did they ask him and they said, "Oh, we do want you back," and he's like, "I don't know if I want to be back," or they're still not sure if he. I mean, that's where I'm like really confused as to what his wording is. At. It's like if they asked him to come back and he said yes, it'd be like, "I'm back." But the fact is like that small kernel of doubt is what's really confusing me. It's that thing is sprinkled throughout all of these discussions that they're having of whether or not I'm back or not, or if you're continuing. It's like. Okay, so that's the part where I'm like confused. So, but I mean, if he does indeed come back as the Aquaman that he has been playing, and we still have Aquaman 2 throughout the rest of the year to look forward to. I guess we won't. Yeah, sure. I don't know. All this is more like, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just tell me something solid, and then I'll actually have an opinion about it. DC.
I think you hit it on the head, dude. That's all I want. I just want something solid. It just seems so weird to me that we're still in this, you've announced you're rebooting the entire DCEU and it's dead, but, to do a full reboot and to keep Momoa, to keep Ezra, to keep Who else would they keep? To keep Zachary Levi, even.
Zachary Levi.
You know, it's all so weird. And Zachary Levi suggested he's sticking around. You know, to keep all those and then to release what's his name? To release Cavill, to release Gal Gadot. Look, you can think whatever you want about Wonder Woman. She was popular as Wonder Woman. It is a fact, you know? So it's just so strange to me. I can't tell if it's like more of a marketing ploy to make people care about these movies.
Right.
Or if it's true, but it just seems again that it's a mess. I've said it before, and this is the last time we're gonna cover it and say it, but
yeah,
you have to do a full reboot. You have to get all new actors to play all these new characters, or else it's not gonna work. It's just gonna be, you know, oh, what could have been with the DCEU, and it's not gonna work. It just won't. So to me, you have to completely and totally go full reboot, not do this not do it the way you're doing it. And as far as the Guardians joining, that makes me a little. You and I talked about Guardians last week. It makes me worried that we're gonna lose most of the Guardians by the end of phase. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking when you said it. I was like, oh, they're all dead. I think my theory might be right. I think my theory might be completely correct, and they all die, but you know, they get ported over to the DC.
Gunn has said you're losing more than one Guardian in this movie because everybody knows the Guardian we're losing is 100% Drax.
At least Drax.
At least Drax. So that makes me the news about the Guardian, all of them joining with DC, it makes me very nervous that we're losing more than one Guardian. More
honestly, again, in a narrative sense, I'm actually pretty excited. I think that's actually a pretty cool way to go out. It would be a really cool. Very non-typical MCU to kill off an entire team, but at the same time, I'm like, I think it'd be fine. I would be fine with it. I think we've had a good amount of time with the Guardians now, you know. I love them, but I think it might be okay. I think I'd be all right with them closing out all their stories together even with Pratt.
I think
again, you could always bring them back, like even for one movie, for like 30 minutes of a movie, you could totally do it. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
you'd be like, oh, great.
You know. Selfishly, I would like to see, you know, Pratt and a couple of the other Guardians as a bigger role in one of the new Avenger movies.
I'm sure
they were their own team, and I want to see them kind of teamed up with the main Avengers team. But I don't even know what the main Avengers team looks like at this point. So, you know, hey, maybe
a bunch of young women now. That's what it looks like.
A bunch of teenagers and young women. Right. All right. Well, that's a perfect place to transition over to. That's the last little bit of news. That was just super quick. Let's transition to Velma, and the only reason I wanted to talk about it is, and this was my choice, is because I had seen a lot of reviews about it and a lot of talk about it, and I think we should give our take on it. I was like, I wonder if this is true, if it's really that bad. Ed, what did you think of Velma?
I want to first off say that I hate you. This is the first time I felt like I have actual hatred for you, mostly because I had to watch it last night, as I was falling asleep, and that's why I'm mostly mad. The second part of that is that it's just an absolute shit of a show.
It's so bad.
It's very much in the vein of She-Hulk, in the sense that it's pretty clearly, it feels like it's written by someone who's just venting about the things that they experienced growing up that they deemed unfair, or that they couldn't live up to or deal with, and then they got a show and a microphone, and now they're just spewing it out. I would even argue that this does it more so than She-Hulk, because I swear to God, within the first, I think I timed it, I think it's within the first minute and a half or two, all the things that were being said were just these little jabs and jokes of you know, modern tropes and themes, and I'm just like, what the fuck are we talking about? Is this Scooby-Doo? This is what it just felt like a dump of opinions, of sour and bitter opinions, and I was just like, this sucks. This is not a show. Again, this is not a show. This is just a platform for someone to complain, and then they're gonna also ruin this beautiful IP that we've had for years. And I guess that's what it is now. I guess that's what maybe all of our IP could be used for now is just this
Yes.
this agenda that perhaps, and I'm sorry, but it is the left. I'm not. It's not. It's
Oh,
fucking.
oh,
You just
no,
watch
no,
it. You're like,
don't
yeah,
mince
it's
words,
not
yeah.
the right agenda. It's the left agenda, and it's like that sucks, and that's
Yeah.
bullshit, and I hate it. I hate the whole thing. It's abrasive and obnoxious. I'm not watching the second episode. I don't care what you
Oh,
say.
no, no, no.
We can end our friendship right now, and that'd be fine if you want to watch the second episode. But yeah, that's my take.
I watched two
yours?
episodes because I wanted to give it a shot because, like, you know, I'd seen some of the discourse online.
Wow.
You know, and there's some articles saying, oh, it's not as bad as I think it is. But, you know, there's articles on big publications on The Athletic even that are just like, and this is completely true. Velma's not just bad, dude. It's downright mean.
Yeah.
Mean. Like, it is very mean to almost everybody. And, you know,
it's bitter. It's
really bitter. And like, I just don't understand who thought this was funny, who thought this was clever, because it's not like you could, like, Rick and Morty has mean moments, but it's always clever. It's clever writing. It's good
most
writing.
Of these anime, I mean, you want to talk about like like not cross being at the line and really like not really crossing it is like Family Guy, stuff like that, where it's like, holy shit, these jokes are like right there, but it still keeps that semblance of being in good taste. But this immediately crosses it. It just doesn't give a shit.
Like, and it just set out. You said a couple things there. It set out just to like destroy this IP. That's what it seems like its mission was. Like, Fred is just he's this white asshole guy who's sexist. Velma's this, like, Velma talks about being a terrible person and then continues to be a terrible person. She's so judgy, like, but like she gets what, like, it's okay to be that judgy towards other people. Daphne Straits murders a person in one episode and is totally fine with it. It's fucking stupid.
No, the whole
Shaggy's like, I don't know what Shaggy is. Shaggy's just there to be there. He's also stupid. Like, it's not clever writing. It's so bad.
Shaggy. What is it? Norville?
Well, that's his real name, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, in the cartoons.
Oh,
that's
no shit, I didn't even know that.
I didn't really learn that till like very, very late. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just, I don't understand what this was for. And, you know, whereas Velma makes She-Hulk look like a fucking masterpiece.
I agree.
Yeah, look, She-Hulk, I think, could have been fine if she was just not attached to the name She-Hulk. If it was like it's this Ally McBride, you know, lawyer drama about a woman trying to get laid and her sex life. Like, that would be fine. Like, that would be, I'm sure people would love a show like that.
And if it were fun,
yeah, and if it was funny,
actually funny,
actually funny. But like, you tied that to She-Hulk, and it just didn't work. But like, when you try to like, if this is your idea of modernizing characters, don't just stop. And I hope this is how bad it can get, because like, this is just somehow, some way, it has 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, by the way, even the positive reviews aren't positive reviews. It's like I don't know how the algorithm works, but like, even the positive reviews aren't like saying good things about it. They're like saying, well, it's kind of
trying really hard to find something good. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, and I've only seen one or two articles saying, oh, it's not that bad. This is like, Velma is it's
everything wrong. It's everything wrong with, like, if you let the leftist agenda get into
but like, dude, you even have people on left and right. It's uniting them in their hatred of this.
Yeah, like,
the people are. It's so, again, if it was just bad, that's one thing, but like, this is straight mean. It's so mean spirited, and I just don't get who would fucking Warner Bros. Said, let's actually put this on. Like, you must have finished the animation season 1 and spent so much money that said, I guess go ahead. It's so bad.
No, it's so,
It's
again,
currently,
but you said it though. It's like, it's worse than bad. It's actually mean. Like, that, and that's the
mean.
problem, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's actually it's clearly trying to hurt people. And That's not great. That's
It's
not a
not
good message.
clever, it's not smart, it's not
It's
like
no.
any of that. It's just mean, and I don't get why people who why it needed to go there. And unfortunately, it's tied to Scooby Doo, and now this franchise is a little less, you know, rosy. And again, like Hollywood, for the love of God, if you have an original idea, just make the fucking original idea. Do not force it into an IP that it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Maybe this works as a different show somewhere else. I don't think it would because it's just that bad. But maybe that's a way to fix it. But again, like stop taking IPs, trying to modernize them and expecting them to work because it's not going to work. This is what fucking happens. You think you have people who clearly think they're clever and they're idiots. They're just
Yeah.
idiots who live inside a bubble that think they can just say whatever they want, get away with it, be mean about it, and that they're going to be successful. Like
And
it's a fucking joke. I just can't believe how terrible this show is. And again, I'll say it again because I've said it so many times. How mean it is, Ed. It's
Yeah.
just downright mean. I don't get it. Fuck.
Yeah, I felt it's like I was wincing, you know. It was almost
Yeah.
crazy because I just felt like, wow, this is not fun. This is not
No.
it's really not fun. And She-Hulk, there are at least moments where it's like, okay, they're just trying to
Yeah, there were still fun moments.
they're trying to have some fun, but this one is just all out. It's completely filtered all that out.
Yeah.
It clearly has I hate using this word because it's being used all politically, but it's hard not to. But yeah, it clearly has an agenda for itself about what it wants to say about society, and particularly from, like you said, this very small, tiny bubble who think that they're representing
Yeah.
way more people than that are actually experiencing this. I mean, most of it,
Right.
to be honest with you, I'm like, I'm not even sure if I relate to that much.
Right.
Like, and I don't think you. But who is the writer? Is my question. Do you know who the writer is? It's not Mindy Kaling. No,
She wrote it. She created it.
Kaling is the writer.
She's one of them, yeah. This is how she
Wow, I have a
lived
hard
the
time
world, I
believing that.
guess.
Okay.
You know,
Because I typically like Mindy Kaling, you know, like when she wrote for The Office, you know, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, and like
I mean,
she's a
I could
great
check.
writer. I think she's really funny, and if it's true that she like is a big a big writer on this show, I misjudged her pretty severely then because I didn't think she was. Here's the thing: is like I asked that question because I wondered if whoever wrote this was a comedian, because it's clearly trying to be funny and trying to say something about again, the just humanity and everything at large, which comedians are really good at, like true comedians.
Right.
They get that. But whoever this person is clearly not a comedian.
No.
Because they just don't understand the line.
Here,
Because
let's
they're
check.
clearly crossing it and they think that they're not. It's pretty clear that they don't understand that, whoever this is. And so if it is Mindy, like, wow, that's really surprising to me. So
Let me
I just
see
feel
if
like
I can get like a written by. Oh, so
again, it's just like the writers for She-Hulk. It's pretty painfully clear these aren't superhero fans.
okay, I'm wrong. She is not a writer. She's just an executive producer.
Okay. Oh, well, she's EP, but okay. Which means that she said, yeah, we should all do this. But okay. Who's the writer?
Different writers on different episodes.
Okay.
But it's it's pretty bad.
Okay.
So
And again, I'm not saying that like the writer has to be a comedian in order to understand it, but at the end of the day, I also feel like these people they're just not humorous. Like, to try to be funny while trying to be like scathing or trying to say something about things is a real art and skill.
yeah,
it takes someone to be able to understand all sides, not just
but
yours. And this one clearly is just trying to understand theirs. And so that's where I think that there's a big mismatch there, a big problem, and it's just not working for the show.
So this show actually turns out in February of last year, most people thought this show was just abandoned. And it seems like HBO on Warner Bros., they just kind of finished it out and threw it out. But Mindy Kaling said that the essence of Velma is not necessarily tied to her whiteness. She identifies as the character, so they made her Indian and said, why the hell not? They also made her a lesbian in this.
Sure, that's fine. I don't know.
So, like, again, like, but like when you think of Velma, you tie her to whiteness.
Yeah, no,
That's not
I've
how normal
never
people
tied Velma to
think.
whiteness. That's so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
like you think of a nerdy girl. That's all you think of.
Nerdy,
Someone that's super
nerdy
clever.
girl next door that you want to kind of bang because she's kind of cool and smart.
Yeah, great. But like fucking dude, I just don't. I think Mindy Kaling is partially to blame. I see a lot of
Well, she's
articles
18,
here.
so
There's a lot of articles here saying uh,
say
Mindy Kaling is held to impossible standard. Like, no, it's
what
not
are
a
you talking
standard.
about? What standard? What are we even talking about?
I
What
don't know.
standard? What's the standard? I don't even know. What What do you mean?
There's no like the standard is a standard set by yourself. You've made funny shows, so what happened here? That's the standard. You clearly are a talented writer. What happened? So I mean, yeah, just that's our little talk on Velma. It is as bad as people are making it out to be.
Please don't watch it.
And again, it's worse than that. It's just downright mean.
Yeah, and that's why it's like this is the kind of stuff where I'm going to say like just, I mean, do what you want, but don't watch it because it's just it just has a mean heart, and like why would you want to spread that? Why would you want to spread that to people? This is one of those shows that tell like that shows that it may be okay to do this. That like people can start like being this mean to people outright in the world when it's like you shouldn't be that mean. It's not right.
Absolutely.
So I would not tell you to watch this. Please don't support.
Completely
whatever. But
I mean, again, yeah, you're right. Do what you want, but just maybe skip this show. It's really bad. It's not. It's worse than what people say.
I'm always trying to give an olive branch, and because I don't think everything's completely shit, but this is pretty much shit. Except I really like the animation. I thought the animation style was really cool.
Yeah,
a lot of great colors. Yeah. Like I love the animation team did a great job. So that I thought was actually pretty cool. But
it's a Scooby-Doo show without Scooby-Doo, so skip it.
There's no Scoob.
There's no Scoob. Just fucking skip this. It's
a lot
dumb.
It's again like a lot of the imagery was just so gross,
dude.
Like the baby, like the scene with the mom. Yeah. And like the picture and then the baby kind of like protruding out of her stomach. I didn't understand. Was that supposed to be funny? Like I don't know. Was kind of gross. I don't like this scene. This scene's like really not necessary.
It tries so hard to be like super meta, but it just doesn't fucking work.
It doesn't.
Weird.
It's so painfully cringe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's clear. Like if somebody read a definition of meta and then didn't understand it fully and then wrote this show. That's kind of what happened. It's bad. Anyway, and now on to Alice in Borderland. So Alice in Borderland, it is a manga. That's what they're called. A Japanese manga. I right? Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is funny you had to add. That's what they're called.
Yeah, that's what they're called. They're not called comic books. They're called manga.
They're not manga. Yeah.
Get it right. Be cultural, fucker. Anyway, get some culture, bitch. So it's a Japanese manga, and it's been adapted into a TV series by Netflix. And Ed texted me late 2022, said, "You absolutely have to watch this. You need to watch it. Please watch it. Please watch it." So I was like, all right, man, fuck it. I'm going to watch it. So we did. Over the last week or so, I finished both seasons. Obviously, Ed finished both seasons, I think, in probably like 2 days.
Way too quickly.
Yeah. But it is a show about how do we explain this show to the audience to get them to watch it. How would you explain it?
I don't think it's hard to do so. But like I think you can explain it the way I pitched it to you without spoiling anything. I'll let you take it if you remember what I said to you.
It's basically like Squid Games, but in Japanese. Let's just do that. It's basically Squid Games, but in Japanese. So players get forced to play some games in order to collect cards. They have to collect playing cards. And we're talking about spades, hearts, diamonds, and jacks. No, that's not it. Clubs.
Somebody needs to watch Casino Royale for the 50th time again.
And clubs. So you collect the different, suits or whatever of cards.
Yeah.
And then maybe or maybe not, you can win the game. And the games vary So hearts are like a mind game. Clubs, I think, are team games or physical
Or
games.
physical games. I think those are physical games.
Okay, clubs are physical games, which means spades are team games,
Spades is a team game.
and
Yeah.
diamonds is mind, smart,
Like intellectual.
intellectual games is what we'll
Something
call
like
it.
that. Yeah.
And you follow the main characters, Arisu. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Hey, Arisu and Usagi. And basically, just to wrap this all up, Arisu's life's not going so well. His other friends, Chota and Karabi,
Yeah.
sorry, also are a bunch of not things not going so right. They're being goofy in the center of Japan and Tokyo, to be specific. They're being goofy. All of a sudden, fireworks start going off, and next thing you know, they awaken to a completely empty Japan, and they have to start playing games in order to survive, or else a red laser from the sky will shoot them dead.
Sounds like a Japanese. It sounds like a perfectly Japanese thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is Ed, let's just start to there's your overview of the show. It's a terrible overview. I'm not great at that. I'm so sorry.
If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to stop now.
Yes.
Watch
Stop now.
it so that you don't get spoiled, because we're going to spoil the crap out of it. So
yes. So Ed, let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
What a fucking amazing show.
Yeah.
This makes Squid Games look like
Child's play.
Child's play. It looks like this is an absolutely immense, brilliant show. It is so good. And I'm not just talking about the idea of the show, because the idea is fucking fantastic. It's so clever. The games these guys are playing are nuts. They're so, like, the heart games are insanely emotional. The mind games, I'm sitting there at one of the episodes and I'm trying to figure out how these guys are figuring out how to play this game, because I'm dead already. Holy hell. Right. The physical games are great, and the team games are also great. And I just, there's so many twists and turns, and this is the first time I literally predicted nothing right.
That's great. I like that.
I can typically figure out who the murderer is, or in a Scream movie, that dude's the fucking killer, or something like that. I'm just kind of, I have a knack for that, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
Guessing it. It's no talent. I just guess it. That's all.
Yeah.
But I got nothing right watching this. I was on my toes the entire time. What else is amazing about this show? But that's just that, right? Those are just the games that I didn't get right. On top of that, the story is spectacular. The cinematography in this is just, it makes every show that America produces look like ass.
Laughable. It's completely laughable.
We'll get into specific favorite moments, but there is a fight scene in episode 7 of the second season that is one of the best choreographed filmed scenes I've ever seen put on television.
I think it's like top 3 of all time for me in any medium.
It's insane.
I've watched that scene so many times, and I can't stop.
I literally told my wife 2 days ago, I can't stop thinking about that scene because it was just so good. But on top of that, cinematography is also amazing. There's an episode in season 2 where, well, essentially there's a naked guy, but the way it's cropped every single time,
it's so clever.
It's like such clever camera movements, and framing and blocking is insane. Like, it's people who know what they're doing, but on top of that, they took the time to do it right, and everything about it just kind of equals this amazing show. Best show of 2022. Hands down, probably the best show of 2023. There's I don't know what could possibly beat this.
It's quickly becoming one of the best shows I think I've ever watched, or just personally, right? I mean,
I was about to say it's one of the top 3 shows I think I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah,
it's up there with Breaking Bad.
I agree with you. Because
Better Call Saul.
It's been a long time since episode to episode. It keeps ramping it up, and I've never faltered. I was never bored.
Never bored.
not once. I was never bored, and it's a testament. Again, it's just great storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
never looked at my phone once while watching it. It is
I never wanted to look away,
yeah.
because you never know what you're gonna
You're gonna
miss.
miss
You know,
something. Anyway, I just bragged about it for like the past 5 minutes. You go
I
ahead.
love it. I could
Give
hear
me
you. I could
give
hear
me
you talk about it forever.
give me what you loved about it. Everything.
Yeah.
I'll
So
start it.
clearly, I was going nuts about the show. I think once I ended the show, like immediately after the show ended, I was like, my watch of the show. I texted you right away, and I just was like, you need to stop life right now, and you need to just watch this right now. Like, trust me,
Right.
trust me, trust me, trust me.
Mhm.
I like I said, I couldn't agree more. What's funny about, I want to preface this with the fact that I put this off for a while. For those who don't know, Alice in Borderland came out, I think, before Squid Game did, and no one to this day, no one's still really talking about it. I think Squid Game clearly overshadowed it. In
Yeah.
terms of its widespread acclaim, which fair
Right,
enough,
right.
and I love Squid Game, but this is just better. But it
Right.
completely took over, and still no one's really seen it. And it's insanely, it's so much better from everything you said. I'm not going to go by. I'm not going to reiterate anything you
Yeah,
said.
don't.
You're 100% right. Everything is so good about this. And I just wanted to talk about then, sort of, well, should we just dive into things that we loved specifically? Because
Yeah, spoiler start here. You got my reaction to it, so let's spoiler start right here. Okay, go
okay,
ahead.
spoilers are here.
Jump into it.
The
Jump
first
fucking into it.
incredible thing about the show, where I was like, okay, this is something special. I think it's pretty obvious. Oh, is that you? The damn
Fucking Fast and Furious over there.
yeah.
They're filming
There's
the
always
next.
stuff like that happening around you. What's going on?
I work in an industrial area.
Oh, is
Like,
that what it is?
fucking
Okay.
train that's behind me, and then there's a shop, auto shops next to me.
Yeah.
So it's a pain.
Okay,
Go ahead.
fair enough. But the first big moment,
I know
episode
where you're
3.
going. Yeah. Oh,
Episode 3. Brutal, probably one of those brutal things I've ever seen in a show. What's his name? Adisu's, who we believe to be the main group of characters for the first 3 episodes.
you don't need
Adisu
them.
and his friends.
Yeah.
They all die. And it's just, I could not believe it. It's the first time I went, what is happening? What is this show?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the first time maybe ever since you watched, like, anybody else would watch Game of Thrones, and like Stark dies in like the 2nd episode or whatever. It's one of those moments you're like, what? So like, what is this show? What's gonna happen for the rest of the show? The balls for it to do that. And also, fair enough, I'm sure it happened in the manga, so I'm sure it's just really good source material as well. But it translates so great to TV, where this huge moment happens and you're just like, okay, I don't know what, anything can happen now. You have my attention.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm not gonna, I have no opinions about you anymore.
Yeah.
And you're gonna just take me because I trust you, because that's a ballsy move. I wish shows would do that more. I wish shows would take risks like that, where they break out of the whole, we have 24 episodes, so let's take every single character that we introduce in the first 2 episodes all the way through. Otherwise, people will get mad and pissy. It's like, no. If it makes sense with the story, we will be on board. And this, maybe it was the story, but that was like the first moment I was like, that's, wow, this is something special. Something even Squid Game didn't really have the balls to do until like until the end. And you kind of saw that coming, obviously. So yeah, well, what did you think of that? And maybe you can jump off to another great moment after that. But it was
I texted you after episode 3, and
that's when I figured you would text me.
I think Ed kind of figured that's when he knew I was locked. He knew I had to finish it. But yeah, that episode is just so brutally harsh, but it strives to the point that like Odyssey is the only one of those group of friends that could have actually made it through the games.
Right.
Exactly. Eventually it gives him a new purpose after he meets Usagi. And Usagi finds purpose as well. And there's like, that moment was just so heartbreaking. And then the next episode was like, it just kind of, it carried on. You thought, oh, he'll get up and he'll do it. But no, it took him some time to figure out how to do it and how to get back into his life. And then it was just so fantastic. I loved watching it. And what man, so season 1, I think the next time season 1 gets like super fucking crazy, is when the first time they find themselves at the beach and
Yeah.
like you realize all these people are fucking nuts. Like they're all just partying and like
Nuts.
he meets the Hatter and Aguni and like all these people and like Aguni set up to be like this villain and then you realize as you get through his story you realize oh he's just like everybody else in this world,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what makes that the world so nice. Everyone's even, you
Yeah.
know, everyone's even because they're all just trying to survive. And
They all have the same goal, more or less.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they probably all have been through awful shit. It's not
Yeah.
just you know, Otis that's been through all this terrible crap. It's everybody. And that's like one of the best things about the show is like as you get more information on the characters, and like, they don't overdo it with the characters, but as you get more information on them, you realize that every single person is struggling. Every single person has internal issues,
Yeah.
and they're not all so different. So like, yeah, my next favorite episode would be when Chesia sets up. By the way, Chesia is probably my favorite character of the show.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
How could you
super
not?
smart, clever. When he sets up, you know, Otis to get caught, and then gets basically beaten up, and he steals the cards, and he's about to walk out of the beach. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he stops, and he goes, "You got to be kidding me," or
Yeah.
something like that. And everyone realizes they're in a game.
Yeah.
And the game starts. It's trying to figure out who killed a certain person in the game, and you're like, "Holy fucking shit!"
The
This
build up
just
is
got
so good.
yeah, it just got turned on its head. And dude, those final 2 episodes of season 1 just blew my mind. When
Fantastic.
she walks out and says, "I'm the constructor of this game or the
Yeah.
dealer of this game," I was like, "What the fuck?" There's people there that are in the games that actually set the games up. You got to be fucking kidding me. And then
Yeah.
a laser comes down and gets her. Oh man, that was just such a
The
insanely
beauty.
good
I
moment.
think a lot. I think the beauty. I think you talking about the beacher. I think exemplifies like what is just great about the series as a whole is that it consistently changes its operation and its mode. Right. It's not just moving. It's changing the environment. It's changing the characters and who they deal with. It's changing. It consistently changes everything. Like
Yeah,
Squid Game. I think in relation to Squid Game, where it's like once you're in the game itself, you kind of have an idea of how things should go, and like they're literally in the same place, and so you're like, it's fine. It turns out to be pretty good, but still, like there's no. It takes a little bit of the surprise out, and you're just like sort of hanging on the games, but for entertainment. But this, it completely takes out its safety net every time.
Right. Yeah.
And it challenges the writers to just keep pushing it, challenges them to keep things interesting, taking out characters, introducing new ones, introducing whole new areas. Like it's a testament to like how strong of an idea this is and how they trusted this idea to really like fly. And the fact that the last 3 or 4 episodes is from the beach, where it's like they get it from just doing normal games to dealing with this resort of people. It's just it's so, again, it takes you away with it. Like there's so many shows where you kind of find yourself sitting there and you go, okay, like I think that's gonna happen. Oh, it happened. All right, well at least they did it okay.
Yes.
Here you're just like, take me, right? Like you're in control. You're in control now. I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
And these are the best types of shows and filmmaking that captivate you and are in full control of you.
Yeah.
And you can just focus on being a part of the story. It's so great. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the beach thing was so immense. Also, they took out Arisu. Like he wasn't even like the main person for a bit until the end, right? Which I thought was a great move, because by then, because he's tied up for a bit when the game starts.
Yeah.
And I love that because that gives the other character, because at the end of the day, he's set up to be the guy who solves it, and he ends up doing so. But like they understood like how, that wasn't going to make a great, unpredictable session through this game.
Right.
So they made it, forced all the other characters to do stuff and like to focus on them. And I thought, like, again, it's decisions like that where they take risks and then they pay it off, that really shows the strength of the show and the writers and the filmmaking. They just totally get it.
Yeah.
I wonder who wrote this, because it's like, or at
I
least
mean, I
adapted it.
know. Yeah.
Because it's like they've been working in this medium for 50 or more years. Like it's so good, you know.
Yeah, they knew every single way of being, in a way they were like almost playing a game with the viewer. They're
Yeah.
always,
Oh, that's
there
a
always
great
be
point.
like the game of hearts with the viewer because
Yeah.
they always thought they showed you, hey, here's who you think it is, and also here's who most likely it is in this game, but actually it's none of them
Yeah.
because we're going to show you who it is, but it's going to be the most obvious thing in the when you when we go back and you look at it and we explain it to you, but at the moment, like in those 2 episodes, you think everything points to Aguni or maybe
Yeah.
Chesia
Of course.
being the bad guy in that game, right? The person they need
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
to clear the game. Because and then you realize, oh no, it's not Aguni. He's just going through some shit.
Well,
And
that's sort of one of the great themes of the show too, right? It's like when when everyone's life is on the line, when that is the commonality between people, is there really right and wrong? Right?
oh yeah,
When
oh yeah,
if
it's real.
you when it comes down to you choosing to live,
Yeah,
is there right or wrong? And
yeah.
it's
Am I
one of the
right
great
this
things
time?
that they play with in the show is whether the what is happening, is it really about that anymore? It's so primal, right? At the end of the day, it's like, well, you got to live, otherwise what's the point, right? Very cool stuff. Did I disappear?
You're a little frozen.
That's funny because you're a little frozen. What's that?
Yeah, every time this happens, it's like it's one of us. It's really weird that it only happens to us.
One of us.
Okay, you just cleared up.
You're here though, and I think I see us both moving.
No, it's just the top of mine went down to like 0.0.
Oh, you can see your speed.
Is it my speed there or is that?
I think that's yours. If you like, I don't know. I see when I look at mine, I see my personal speed.
Oh,
Yeah,
why
that's
does
like
mine
your connect. That's like my connect.
fluctuates? Mine fluctuates so much for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we're back. We're back.
Yeah, I still see you. I mean, you never faltered. So, but I saw that
Okay.
you were like you went dead face. I was like, do you still hear me?
Yeah. No. So yeah. So to pick up on your point there, that like it what makes shows like this so great because it reverts humans back to like their most primal state.
Yeah.
To just
Yeah.
human instinct. And again, like everyone
Right.
likes to think, oh, I would never do that. But no, you would. You would do that.
You would
To
do
survive,
that.
you would do that. And that's what makes it so great because it never actually questions that. It never says, oh,
No.
why? No, which so many places gets caught up in. You're like, oh, would humans be this bad? Like, yes, they would
Yeah,
be.
they
Let's
would.
get that over.
Yeah,
Let's just
exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's just
get that
go
over
into it.
with.
Let's
Yeah,
do
you
it.
would.
Yeah. Humans would. We're terrible. Terrible. We're
We can be
terrible.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, humans have been terrible since humans have existed, period.
Yeah.
That's humans.
Yeah.
So yeah, that season 2, or I mean season 1 season finale was just amazing, dude. It was so crazy good and just so many twists and turns. And then
The face
like
cards.
the face card, and then the beginning of season 2, everything just gets ratcheted up to like this extra high level.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't
Right.
stop.
So like, everything was like so like nice and compact inside the games itself, really, in season 1, right?
Yeah.
Bless you. And then in season 2,
Oh.
and then in season 2,
My dad back for episode 2. Keep going.
in season 2, it gets ratcheted up.
Oh yeah, no, this can pick up.
Oh my
You
God.
can't move. Like I can hear. They'll hear everything.
Wow.
That's sort of what microphones do.
That's amazing.
Okay, hold on.
Your dad is, the reason we have a 10,000 view
It's
episode
true.
on
I know.
YouTube. So it's good.
He's a good luck charm. What can I say?
Yeah, apparently. Sneeze all you want, sir. Anyway, so season 2, it's, I don't know, maybe the budget just got like lifted or something. I don't know. But
It felt
dude,
that way.
you start with this amazing car chase
Oh,
in,
so
by the way, it's called a Toyota Super Crown. I've dreamed about one of these cars. my
Wow.
entire-
I
want one.
love how you can give that drop that knowledge. That's great.
Oh yeah. So like now there's a solid group of people. You have Arisu, you have Anne, Usagi, Chesia, and I can't remember the last girl's
Yeah,
name.
what's the trans
girl that was a boy.
girl's character?
I looked her up. She actually is a girl. She's not actually a trans person.
She's not
which
an
I'm sure
actual.
would
Yeah, she's acting. Because
infuriate.
that's what acting is about. For all you
Yeah,
motherfuckers,
that
you
would
think, why they just hire a trans person? Probably
infuriate.
because they maybe not be able to act.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
the whole point.
Hey,
Anyway, she did a great job.
what's her?
I keep forgetting her name.
I forget her name too. Anyway,
I don't
doesn't
wanna
matter.
trans character. I'll figure it out. You talk. I'll figure it out.
So they're all together now. Cunha. That's her name.
Punya.
Yeah. So they're all together now, and they're basically running from the King of Spades or the King of Clubs. And the King of Clubs, it's Spades. He is this. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's GI Joe of Japan or something. And he is just killing people left and right. So there's this amazing car chase where they're just trying to get away from this guy, and he's in a car chasing him. It's so well filmed. It's so well blocked. It's well cinematographed. I mean, it's just this
One of the
chef's
better
kiss.
faces I've seen in a long time, man.
Oh yeah, dude!
I've ever seen.
Like you feel like you're in the motion. You feel like you're there, dude.
So
It's really good, and like that starts season two, and it just keeps going. Like everything, like you're just every episode you're ratcheted up. There's this very brilliant maze game they play where Arisu pulls off the biggest trick I've ever seen just by shaking a guy's hand. That was like, oh,
that was so brutal. The way that God.
Yeah, and like even the villains of the game, something that I think we should mention, the creators of the game, because now you're in face cards, right? So now it's
face cards.
Yeah. You meet the people who are the dealers of the game.
Yeah. And
you don't hate a single person of them.
No.
The King of Spades aside, you hate. But you don't hate not a single soul. Like, in fact, you almost feel for a few of them.
For sure.
And
because you see some of the other players during these games, and and some of the actions they take to save their own life is
right.
pretty like really bad, like on a level. It's like some of those are like even worse to think about.
Yeah. So like, but you start with this maze game that's amazing, and then the next episode you're in a jail, and Chesia, it's one of the final like
the jail scene. The jail game is it might be my favorite game out of all the games. The fact that Chesia is the one that was chosen to do it, brilliant move.
And he does it alone, which is amazing.
Does it alone.
And it's just, dude, that scene where they all come out and the guy's like, I won. And then the other three come out and be like, we told you.
So fast.
Yeah, we had you figured from the get-go. And once they get it, they win. And then, oh man.
So good.
And again, that's another one where it's pointing at, there's a stockbroker, somebody you pretty much hate.
Yeah.
And then a serial killer, the guy who's actually a killer.
Clearly,
and neither of them are the bad guy.
Yeah.
Neither of them, but it's telling you it's one of these two guys.
Yeah. I thought it was the girl. I seriously thought it was the
I
girl.
told you it was the girl. I said it's the girl.
I were like, oh no, it's him. It's him. And I was like, no, I think it's the girl.
I thought it was the girl too. She was so innocent, nice. I bet like it's the effing girl. And then
talk about like, we had a discussion about Knives Out and Glass Onion about it being pretty clear about who it was.
Yeah.
And like that's okay for the sake of entertainment, but here is like where you really have both entertainment and it being smart as well, where it's like you're actually getting invested and it's actually trying to one up you as a viewer. And I thought that's really great. Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason I didn't like Knives Out as much, because I watched it after season 1.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that.
Season 2, and everything was so obvious. I think that actually kind of hurt my Knives Out experience. But anyway, yeah, dude. Let's talk about season 2. What was So I've been vomiting,
It's too easy for the show. No, I get it. Here's a criticism I had about season 2. How about that? A little bit of criticism.
Okay, sure.
Again, in the long run, I was like, it really doesn't matter. It's astronomically low, but I did feel it. So one of the criticisms I had was that the fact that the episode 2 and 3, basically part of the first episode too, I thought Osmosis, that game, the maze game, I thought it went on for a little too long, a little bit.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
wasn't expecting that game to go on for 3 episodes, and that for a second that made me feel a little worried that there's only 8 episodes in the season, so it's not like it's not a long season. So I had a pit in my stomach, feeling like, oh my god, are we only gonna get like 2 episodes or like 2
Two.
games in this season, and like it's gonna stray way too long on something. It did. So that was a little criticism. I thought it went on for a little too long. I would have liked to have taken a bit off of that game so that we could get more from 2 characters who I thought we got a little shortchanged
Okay.
in the rest of the season, which was Anne and
Cunha.
Cunha.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, I felt like they just didn't have enough time to sort of give those characters like I think what their official due was. I again didn't hurt it. I thought overall I think they made the right choices, but if I had to have a criticism, I thought they could shave off a little bit of that osmosis game and maybe give us a little bit more for An and Cunha, to do, because I thought they were fantastic characters.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's a criticism I had, but ultimately it's a very small criticism considering the rest of the season and how it played out. I thought was brilliant. So that's what I would say. Do you feel that way? Do you think that's fair?
I think I would completely agree, because I think I had the same reaction. I can't remember exactly, but I was kind of like, so the first game they play with Aris and Usagi and Taka and Niragi, the guy you fucking hate. You hate his guts the entire time.
This guy you just fucking hate.
But like, I see why you keep him in, because you have to have somebody you hate.
I do too. Yeah, I get it.
But that game went on for part 1 and 2, and then it went straight into Chessia's game, and that went on for part 1 and 2. And I felt the same way. I was like, okay, well, now we're 4 episodes in here, and from that perspective, it kind of worried me. But hey, I think it all came back and worked out really well together. So with that said, I guess that would be my main issue with the show. Now let's talk about the last 2 things. See, episode 7. And then the finale, because we haven't actually spoken about
the reveal. Yeah.
So episode 7 might be one of the best episodes ever put to television.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more.
Dude, I just cannot believe. So basically what happens in episode 7, the whole team basically comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Chessie, and it's a fucking roller coaster ride of just insane highs and insane lows. It starts off with Chessia getting fucking shot, and you're like, what the fuck? No! You're already upset, right? And then the King of Spades shows up, and it just goes insane, dude. They come up with a plan to trap him, and it's a brilliant plan. But dude, I have never been on watching a TV show. I've never been like on the edge of my seat for a fight. Yeah. For a fight. Like basically, Adasu's he has to go and trap the guy into a bomb area, and like, dude, everybody fucking dies. Essentially,
the alley fight.
Like, I mean, like Usagi gets stabbed in the legs, which if you've watched the show, you realize that's her skill. She's fast and uses her legs for everything.
She's the bunny.
Yeah. Cunha. Oh, fuck. I didn't even put that together. Holy shit. She's the bunny. She's the rabbit.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well, anyway. But yeah, so Cunha gets, fucked up, and she's a good fighter and lands like one shot on the guy, and she gets shot. Aguni fucking is just it's just all so good, Ed. I don't know how to describe it, just because
every single frame of that fight is masterful.
Yeah.
I've rewatched the scene so many times. Yeah. But it's a testament to great choreography.
Yes.
And everyone needs to watch this fight scene, because it's not just the moves, right? It's the shot structure. It's the way, it's the motions of every single character and how they come in, why they come in.
Right.
And if you could break down that scene, it would take like an entire essay, because it's wonderful. My favorite part of that scene, that every time I see this shot, I go up, I have to go up, like, up in my chair and just go, that's like one of the fucking coolest things I've ever seen. And it's the shot. I don't know if you remember this, but it's the shot where Tomb Raider girl which I forget her name. She's very cool. But
Yes.
Tomb Raider girl
Super cool.
like comes in, she does like the on the ground, and she kind of does this flip, and she brings in her bow,
Yeah.
and she like and takes like a kill shot
Yeah.
on King of Space. She misses, but that moment is so cool. It's so well designed that it like hits every piston in your head of like action, coolness, sexiness, just this complete primal. It's so good. I cannot. It never. There's something within my body that has to react to that scene every time I see it, even though I don't want it to. And it's so good. Anyway, that's just one example. Dude, just the amount of thought that was put into it.
Yes.
And like the when he goes berserk, because like and he like drags him across this on the side of the wall, throws him down, but like at no point is anyone really ever winning or losing.
No,
everyone's just getting beat the fuck up.
Yes,
you really don't know who is going to come out alive. You just have no clue. You have no clue. You have no clue.
Exactly. That was the best part about it. You had no clue who was going to win this fight, and you just your heart just like starts to sink as you start to see the members get taken out.
Absolutely.
But it's such a brilliant fight because it's exactly what somebody would do. You try to trap the guy in a small space and you try to outnumber him. And you think at one point you might have him and you just don't. And like, one of the best parts about it is, you know, we talk about Marvel a lot and other shows and stuff. And, you know, I said a while back, I don't remember what we were talking about, Ed, but like, don't you miss in fight scenes when they get tired? Like that's what makes John Wick so great. Like John Wick is tired. He gets exhausted.
They get fucked up. They get fucked up.
And like in this, they're so fucked up. At one point, he's got Aguni like just choking him out, and they're doing everything they can. And Aguni's literally one by one bullet. He's pushing the bullet out. It's such a like it's a small detail, but it's just the thing that you're going, oh, look at him. Come on, Aguni, you can get all the bullets
so good.
out.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, you go, oh my God, that's so smart. Yeah, get it out, get all of it. Like, you know, that's like his like superpower is his bullets. Once you get a gun in his hand, you're dead. It's like, oh my God, that's so smart. I'm like, that is so smart. The detail is just,
Yeah. And then like when they finally get him to the trap, he realizes it's a trap. You think everybody's dead. Yeah. And then Aguni traps him, and Adasu is this perfect guy who has such a good heart. He can't let his friend die there in this explosion. He goes and gets him. Aguni gets mad at him, says, "You idiot."
Yeah. Right.
And he tries to blow it up. The bomb doesn't work. And Aguni says, just throw it in. I'm fucking. And it's just, it's insanely good. Everything so about that episode, I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't believe how good it was. I just, what a way to set up the finale.
That's
so the best episode of the series.
I think so.
It's the best episode of the series. It's top 10 best episodes of all time. Top 5 for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's up there with Osmodeus from Breaking Bad.
100%.
And a couple
talk
other
about
ones.
Absolutely captivating TV that you cannot take your eyes off of. You're completely, your whole body and essence is like just locked onto what's happening. It's very rare. It's very rare, and this is one of those moments that I just can't. It can't escape me at all. And I'll remember it forever. And I think I'd love to do like an essay on that. That fight scene is just so good. And again, just watch it for yourself. Like if you think we're being stupid, and you know, it's trust us. It's one of the best things you'll ever see. But I wanted to move this over to what you said at the end. So if we talk about the finale, I thought when the not only the finale but like the reveal, I thought the reveal, like when you rewatch all those scenes, it just amplifies everything on screen. Like when you understand what's actually happening, and then you rewatch that fight scene, you're like, oh my God, like the stakes are so insanely high.
They're all fighting for their lives.
Like they're all fighting for their lives, literally. So do you want to explain let's talk about the finale and talk about the reveal.
The finale. I thought the game, that was the only game where I was like, this is a trick. This is clearly a trick. That was the only game I could ever like figure it out. But I still thought it was really well executed, and it was really well done. And how Usagi was key to saving them, and their relationship came in key was brilliant and super smart. Um, and yeah, it's revealed that they Arisu clears that game, and he says, "Anybody?" She says, "The Queen of Hearts." Or actually, no, it's the narrator. We never meet the narrator, the game creator.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, we never do. No,
They're given a choice of if they want to go back or they can stay. And all of the friends, somehow, some way, are all still alive. They're all like they're dying. They're on their like final breaths. You can see,
I know I
but,
they were still alive. I was like,
but
what?
they're still alive. Let's say we have
Thread,
to.
the last thread, the
Yeah,
last
the
little.
last little bit.
Yeah.
They lived. They did it. Well, it's fine. So yeah, they get the decision to go back or stay. The serial killer and the businessman decide to stay, so they'll be continuing the games, I guess. And that doesn't really matter because they all go back, and it's revealed that a meteorite hit Tokyo, and everybody that was there that was in the game is in the hospital. And you kind of get these like you get these quick little vignettes of people basically fighting for their lives
Right.
every second and in a hospital trying to survive. And then one by one they all come to, and I thought it was like, whoa. So this entire time they've actually been fighting for their lives in the hospital while parallel playing these games, fighting for their lives.
They've literally been fighting
Yeah.
for their lives, like literally.
Like they're in like it's almost like a lost kind of purgatory.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
more or less.
Like,
but way better explained, I would say. Way better represented.
the only thing I was bummed about is like they didn't actually remember each other. I wish they remembered playing the games a tiny bit. It bummed me out just a little bit. I really do wish that
I hear
Usagi
what you're
and
saying.
but he did have enough courage to at least ask her to go for a walk, and
Yeah,
she had enough
very
courage
true.
to say yes. You through her story you realize that she has courage. She's scared of being with somebody because she
Yeah.
lost her dad, and
Lost her
now she's ready because they all
Right.
survived this moment. You see Chessia, you see everybody. What do you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. Again, you brought up that's what you brought up was the Lost finale, the purgatory idea. I love
Yes.
Lost. I'm a Lostie, but even I can admit that, like, yeah, sure, that wasn't like it was a little bit of a, I guess so, because like they didn't have that planned, so whatever. But at the same time, it's like they could. There was never going to be a great explanation, right?
Right.
And for such a fantastical idea. And it's the same thing here. It's like there was nothing that was going to satisfy us if that was the literal thing that happened. I don't think there's really, unless there's some great writer out there who can think of something. I don't think there's anything really to wrap all that nicely, like that was going to explain all that off in a way that was as satisfying as the journey, right? So I'm perfectly
Right.
happy with how they explained it because it at least reinforces the theme and the story. So I was totally fine with it, and I thought it was, again, it's so Japan to do that, to explain it off as like this meteorite that just killed everybody. But again, it does solidify the theme that things happen in life, right? Like there are things that are completely out of your control, and at the end of the day, it's about how much you want to keep living. These things happen. Just like the games happening. Again, these things were not in their control. They had to do it.
Absolutely.
And you have to make a decision at the end of the day whether or not you want to keep going or not. So I thought that was just a great, beautiful way to explain that off. But I also think that again, it just reinforced everything you just saw, because and I love the parallel of their wounds to like whatever happened to them physically, like if it was caused by a game, that's because it matched up with, I don't know, some debris that hit you, or it matched up with like where you were during the actual blast. Like, so anybody who was very close to the meteorite, anybody that we saw get actually killed horribly in the game, like that's what happened to them. They just fucking got like smushed or some shit. I just details like that I thought were really clever. And so like things further away, like that's why people were more or less less affected or not hurt during the game, because they were just lucky enough to be further away.
Right.
I thought that detail was so cool. And so
I
when you
liked
see, yeah,
I liked the little touch where his brother is in the hospital room with him and he says, "Dad cried," because it's
yeah,
this constant point of contention with
right.
Arisu and his dad and him being like this. He's basically a loser. He's
He's
given
a
up on
loser. Yeah,
life,
he's a loser. He's doing nothing. Yeah,
and it's about him, refinding his will to live,
right,
essentially,
right.
right? So, and
A lot
it's
of
like
people,
that for a lot of the people.
probably, yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of the people that survived, it's like that. Finding, it's about getting new meaning. It's about the girl who's the
yeah,
Laura Croft character. She learns that it's not about all beauty and everything. That
yeah,
there's more to life than just being the popular girl.
right,
And then uh Kunya, it helps her reconnect with her family. Chesia learns that he doesn't need to be so selfish and an asshole all the
right.
time, that he can be a better person. And Usagi learns that she can let people in again, or else she's
Right.
going to be alone. And, all the lessons learned through these games and through the struggle that they had, all pays off in a brilliant way. And it was a great way to end the show.
Yeah.
And do you think there'll be a season 3? We get a
No, I don't.
tease of a
I
Joker
don't want there
card.
to be a season. I don't want there to be a season 3. If they are thinking
Different
about
what
it, I
you
hope not.
want, different you think.
No, I don't think so. Only because
You don't think
again,
so?
as of right now, it would have to be it would have to be written from scratch because they're going by the source material. There is no
Right.
other manga that was written. Although I believe there was a follow up manga, like a one issue or two, like a short issue, where they did go back. I think it's called Rebirth, where it's a little bit in the future, and Arisu and Usagi are like having a baby, and Arisu goes back somehow. I don't remember, but to be honest with you, I'm like, I don't think I need that. That sounds kind of stupid. Um,
Right.
so no, I love the way it ends, and when you have a good ending like this, it's like it's really best to just not
Let it
to
end.
mess with that, just because yeah, if you do something less, it just kind of really tarnishes it. So
Hmm.
as much as I'd like to wish that there was more to this and that we would continue to get great, stories from this world, I'm perfectly happy if it doesn't happen. I don't
Me
think
too.
it will. Obviously, because it's not Squid Game, people still haven't watched this. If people watched this, then I'd be like, sure,
Yeah.
maybe.
This didn't
But as
break
of right now,
records that Squid Games did.
no.
And I don't know how we do it, but like I don't know what we should put at the headline, but better than Squid Games.
Something, yeah.
Something eye-catching, because this
Yeah.
show needs to be watched. It needs to be in the top 10 of Netflix in a bunch of different countries. It puts almost every other show to shame,
Oh,
especially in the last
complete
year.
shame.
It
Complete
definitely
shame.
puts, if you're a fan of Marvel, go watch this show, because action, setting,
Yeah, true.
blocking, everything that you know you think is cool in a Marvel will look like shit after this, because it's just so well done.
It's so
Even the
true.
CGI isn't that bad in it.
Absolutely. I think they were
Yeah.
completely smart with everything. There was never one moment where I was like, ugh, that's
Yeah.
rough. Like, no, there was that one scene with the tunnel game, right? Where they fucking
Yeah.
had these like a jaguar or some shit. Like that was completely CGI, but they were smart. See, like they were smart enough to make
It
sure
was
that
dark and
it was dark. Like they thought of
Yeah.
everything to make sure that like not
Yeah.
again, it's just people just know what the fuck they're doing.
yeah.
Like, straight up. It's just people
Yeah.
who understand the craft and they understand how to maximize it in all fronts. I don't know what team came together to make this. If you've never come together to do something else before, hold each other tight and keep doing things together, because it's
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, it's an A team of absolute masterful craft, and I
Yeah.
hope they continue. Instead of a season 3, I'd like them to tackle other projects,
Something
and
original.
make
Yeah.
things sing. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're clearly people who know what they're doing. So
Um,
that's my hope for it. Yeah.
man.
Do you want a season 3?
Do I want a season 3? No, because I do think that like there's something to be said about these shows that have hard endings. And it's a nice ending.
Yeah.
Maybe don't put these guys through all this shit again. Because like that would just be terrible. And then like another thing, like you said, the manga's ended. And we have examples of shows that go past Game of Thrones, for
Mhm.
instance, that went past
Too
its
far.
date. Like it's not written yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, too far, and look what happened. It was terrible. So yeah, I think that I completely agree with you. If the creators want to go do something in this show, go do something original or something different. Take another manga, please, and just put it out there. And yeah, but the show is fantastic overall, and I think it's a nice ending. And I don't really
Yeah,
want to ruin it.
I
So
agree.
for me, let's leave it as is.
Yeah, let's leave it as is, and let's just get as many other people to go watch it, and
As we
because
possibly can. Yes.
it deserves it, man. It just deserves it. The Squid Game can get its notoriety, that much notoriety. This I'm sure could have too if it just was timed better, maybe. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it got me right when another show came out, basically right around the same time as Squid Games, and this is 10 times better than Squid Games. The
it's
characters are more you connect with every character. And in
yeah.
the Squid Games, I just don't think you do that. Like the games are cool and crazy, but like I feel like you could throw away the characters in Squid Games and not care
There are
about them.
definitely some there are definitely a few where I'm like, okay, I mean they're there, I get it.
Yeah,
But
they're
yeah,
there. They're just background
every one
characters.
of these characters you feel for and you champion till the end. Yeah. So
So anyway, that's Alice in Borderland. It's a review. It was amazing. It was specific. It was great. Ed's internet is dying, so we got to wrap this show up. Next week, we're you guys with a full review of Super Nintendo World. We're going to talk about that. Super
yeah.
Mario World. Ed and I get to go a little early, so we're going to come back and give a full review of that. And we're also going to give a full review of the new Indian movie Pathon. It comes out January 25th. We're going to talk about it for all
I'm
our
excited.
Indian fans. And we're also going to talk about more Indian movies as we go. We just got to find the time to watch them. There's a lot of shit coming out this year. Bear with us. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing. And yeah, we'll keep them coming.
Thanks,
Peace time.
guys.